Hey students, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our third quarter webpage project. So we are starting this project on February 22nd, which for most of you, you will be listening to this on February 22nd. So it's going to be in the February 22nd folder, as you can see. It's the last thing, it's a link to the actual project folder. But you can also find this in the project folder. So there's, two ways to get there. You can either go through here or just go through the project folder itself. So I wanted to go over a little bit of what you will be doing. So you will be creating a website based on some topics from chapters 12 and 13. So originally, Miss Coffee and I would do this project based on topics from the 1940s, into like World War II time period. But we decided that we wanted to do this with topics from chapters 12 and 13, which basically is like World War One, the Roaring Twenties, um, and a little bit of the 30s. So this is the paper that you will get in class. If you're not in class, then you will just need to like read through this. But basically, you'll make a website presenting the topic that you are assigned to your audience, which your audience is me and your classmates. All topics will have subtopics. So you'll have a main page, like a title page in your website, but then you'll have related subtopics. So if you have, a group of two, then you will have three subtopics. If you're a group of one, then you only have two subtopics. So you're going to research. Obviously, research is always first. You're going to research your topic using reliable, credible websites. You're going to present the main topic on your homepage, and then we can help you come up with subtopics if you can't come up with them. But the subtopics are going to be other tabs on your website. And we'll definitely show you examples. All right, so this year, we're not going to give you the ability to choose your topic on Sign Up Genius. We are going to basically either assign them to you or let you choose. So step one is getting your main topic. And then choosing the main topic from the list, you're going to create three, not four, but three additional subtopics. And you're going to create this web page using Google Sites. And Ms. Rogowski is going to give you a tutorial on how to do that. The number one thing that you need to do is obviously research. You can't make a website if you have not researched. So everyone in their group is going to do their own research based on your topic and subtopics. And you're going to write your information in your own words. Do not plagiarize other people's words. Lastly, you're going to submit the link from your Google Sites. You're going to submit it to Schoology, but then you're also going to put it in a shared media album. This whole project is due March 7th, so you will have this whole week, February 22nd to the 26th, and then that following week, I believe it's March 1st through March 5th, to get this done in and out of class, but mostly in class, working with people in your own cohort. And when it says presentations begin Monday, March 8th, that's really going to be you students going to the media album and basically taking a test using other people's websites for your information. So we'll get to more of that later. All right, so here's the topics list. The Spanish-American War, imperialism, World War I major battles, American home front of World War I, so what was happening in the United States during the war, Spanish flu pandemic, the Roaring Twenties, Prohibition, yellow journalism, which includes the people who owned these big newspapers, Joseph Pulitzer and William Hearst, Al Capone, the rise of mobs, women's suffrage, the Harlem Renaissance, inventions and innovations, and the Chicago race riot or the Red Summer. So those are the main things that you're going to be researching. And again, you're going to get assigned your topic. So, just be aware of that. So further on to this, you do have a rubric, and it's in that same project folder. This is where you will find the guideline sheet that I just read to you, but then also a rubric. All group members must submit the link to your Google Sites. You will lose individual points if you don't submit to the project. And then one group member or group leader has to submit the link to the shared media album. So in, this assignment, the Research and Create third quarter Webpage project is due March 7th, 11:59. But you will find the rubric and the guideline sheet all in this particular folder. So I want to show you some examples. These are from previous years, so these are not topics that you will be using this year, but in previous years, when we used the 1940s, kind of as our basis for topics, this was one of the websites that they created. So this topic is minority groups in World War II, and they have a homepage, so I'll take you to the homepage. They have lots and lots of pictures, authentic primary source pictures. We don't need anything that's not primary source pictures on these websites. So you can see they put primary source pictures, and then they put like a little description of what you would see in their website. So a little description about minority groups during the war. So they put a button here where you could go to another website. So this links another website to their website. And that's, one of the things that we're looking for. So you can navigate at the top, African Americans in World War II. Again, pictures, text, more pictures, and more text, specific stories about African Americans, segregated units. So they talk about the Tuskegee Airmen in this section. Lots of pictures, authentic primary source pictures. Again, they have a button that goes to another website to tell you more information. They talk about African American women, and that's their page on African Americans in the war. You can see up here they have a tab for women in the war, a tab for Hispanic Americans in the war, a tab for Japanese Americans in the war, and then they have this section called More. So it has Native Americans, and then it has sources. Everybody will have a tab for sources. This is your bibliography or works cited page. Everyone will have that. So in the previous years, we had used a website builder called Weebly, but now you're going to use Google Sites. So that's going to be a difference. But Google Sites is very easy to kind of learn how to use the different things and to build your website. So Ms. Rogowski is going to provide a tutorial for you for that. Here's another example. World War II propaganda. Again, they have a homepage. They have a page called What is Propaganda? They have a tab called Types of Propaganda. They have a tab called Axis versus Allies, and they have a More. So Effects of Propaganda is another tab, and then their works cited page. So you can see on their homepage, they have an authentic piece of propaganda that was used during the war. And then they have a lot of very important information about propaganda. What will we find on the site? They have a quiz. So they made a quiz. Think you can spot propaganda. So they made a quiz for their website. Also, you can link here to see a Bugs Bunny cartoon that was an example of propaganda during that time. They have the poster of Uncle Sam saying, I want you for the US Army. They have other things, posters and cartoons that were shown during the time of World War II that were definitely propaganda. And then they have a propaganda podcast link. So again, we want to see as many multimedia additions as possible in your website. Here, they have types of propaganda. So they give you a little bit of an explanation about types of propaganda. Then they list the types of propaganda with definitions for that type. And then they have lots of primary source propaganda posters. So they have Dig for Victory, Do the Job He Left Behind, Buy War Bonds, Food as a Weapon. So they have a lot of evidence, to show that they know what propaganda is. And then the Axis versus Allies section, they have, again, a good explanation of what you will see on this page. They have Axis propaganda versus Ally propaganda. And then they, again, have a lot of examples of posters that you would have seen back during that time period. And they do have this little button called Check Out This Quiz. So if we would click that, it would take us to a quiz that they made to see if you know about propaganda. So all of these example websites are also in the folder for the third quarter web page creation project. They're all there, and there are a few more there too. So you can check them out, kind of see if you're on the right track. But you will have basically 2 weeks in and out of class to do this assignment and to get this project done. And as always, think about, doing the very best job you can. The culmination of this will be students visiting your website that you made to actually get answers for the assessment for chapters 12 and 13. So it's really, really important that you do a great job because people are going to be visiting your website quite often to understand more about your topic. All right, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have questions. Have a good evening.